guys, Matt here, and welcome to how to source products at the right price and sell on various platforms, including your own, with just a laptop, phone, and the internet, aka a online business. It's probably the dream for everyone to literally have freedom and live life with a laptop, phone, and the internet. And honestly, I've helped people over the years get into this and do this, but it all comes down to you actually following through and making effort. Now, the first things first, right? Watching this video, you're gonna be going, my God, why is this guy doing it? It sounds too good to be true, and so on and so forth. Just follow through with me and I'll show you how everything works as we go through. And by the end, you can make a decision if you wanna have a conversation, see if I can help you or not, or you've learned some stuff along the way. Sound like a fair deal? Yeah? Okay, cool, let's get going, okay? So, this video may be the exact point that changes your life. Now, why? Why could this be the exact point that changes your life? Finally, all the pieces of the puzzle might actually be put together and presented to you in an easy to understand format, right? Simply, there's a lot of people out there looking for a change. They might have an existing business. They might have a job that they get paid well, but they want to leave, but they don't want to spend the big money and just literally rip the Band-Aid off, for one of a better way of saying it, okay? So this might be the final piece of the puzzle after years of looking around, or just coming across me now, and to literally join everything together, right? Make sure you go through and watch this video all the way to the end. It will be as long as it needs to be, okay? It's not rehearsed. I basically put it together and show you with genuine passion exactly how to do everything, right? It does take time, okay? So very worst case scenario, watch it in 2 sessions, but take the time. Don't get distracted by something else. These days, it's so easy to just get distracted by all these other things that float around us, okay? At the end of the day, you're investing in your future. By watching this and going through me showing you how essentially you can have an online business, you're investing in your future, okay? And if you're not sure, this online business revolves around the easiest to sell product in the entire world, which is physical products, okay? Not information, but physical products, okay? There's a whole heap of value of information, as I said, as we actually go through, right? So, these days, right now, as of the recording of this video, I'm actually importing myself over $1 million US worth of goods per year, right? So depending on the exchange rate, there's anywhere from sort of 1.3 to 1.8 million dollars Australian per year, okay? That's at cost, and that sells for 4 or 5 million bucks a year. Give or take, in my own importing business, right? All set up to run with a laptop, phone, and the internet. Now, I will be honest with you, I have built infrastructure. Don't expect to just sit there at home with just your laptop all by yourself to do those sorts of numbers, right? But as clients come on board, I have shown people how to build out infrastructure and have people to do things for them. Not everyone wants to do that, which is totally cool, but that's the level I'm at, and I've been always running businesses, which I'll explain a little bit later on, at the multi-million-dollar level over years and years and years, right? Nothing's theory. I'm not some guy that bought some course and thought, hey, I'll go and teach people how to do it. I do this day in, day out. One of the reasons why I help people is it fills resources within my team, okay, which I'll explain about my team in a minute. And also over and above that as well, it gives me the opportunity to get opportunities that I see and see them get taken and run with people. And all someone has to do is literally come on board and follow through. Simple as that, right? I honestly don't believe there's anyone out there actually doing it and showing people how to actually do it with such a solid track record that I've had over years. I've been working for myself for the best part of 20 years now, and also with multiple businesses, okay? Some I've sold and so on and so forth, and also importing all that time. So many trips across to China and so on and so forth, and different countries, which I'll explain in a minute, okay? As I said, with my businesses, honestly, this is what happens, right? A lot of guys like me, they run multi-million-dollar businesses, they sell them, and then they go out and consult for some giant company. Now, I don't know about you, but if you've ever been in an area where it's like a corporate situation, people just go to meetings every day, it drives me nuts, okay? I'd rather just get in there, get something done, right, make decisions. So I'd rather work with people one-on-one, as in individuals, rather than some giant corporation, and you sort of, I feel like you're just in there treading water. I've had opportunity after opportunity to do it, but I've always said no, because I prefer to live life on my own terms, which you should too, right? Anyway, so pay attention. If you've got a phone, right, if you're watching this on the phone, there's going to be a problem, right? But if you've got a phone, don't have your phone on. If you're sitting on a computer or laptop watching this, actually turn it off. If you're watching this on a DVD, go put your phone in another room, right? No email. If your email's on your computer and you're watching this on the computer, turn the email off. Don't sit there clicking through, surfing the net and so on and so forth. one thing that takes, if you want to be successful in a business, the first thing you need is actually focus, right? And for now, just focus on this, okay? If you've got kids and so on and so forth that run around disturbing you, try and keep them entertained. You know, me, I've got 3 kids and a couple of boys that are still a bit younger, a little bit crazy. And you know, if I was watching something, I'd just let them sit down and watch TV or wait till they're in bed. So just cut out all distractions. It's important so you can focus on this, because focus is one of the keys to success. So if you can focus on this and go through, you'll have a better understanding as we go through with everything. Anyway, so my goal for you, by the end of this training, you'll see how this business model compares to other business models and how it literally makes it the only logical choice if you're serious about actually getting into your own business, right? So who's this for? So let's take, for example, you're stuck in a job and you're in a situation where you want to leave the job, but you just don't know which way to turn, and you don't want to just go and borrow a whole bucket load of money, or you can't even get a bucket load of money to actually leave and buy an existing business or whatever, right? So you're just literally stuck, right? You just don't know which way to turn and you're stuck. This is for you, okay? If you're stuck in a business that you don't like, for example, you might be a tradesman or something like that, and all you're doing is doing the thing day in, day out, right? This is for you, because I can take you from that position so you can run everything with a laptop, phone, the internet, and adjust into a whole new business if you like, right? If you're looking for work part-time, some people are looking to work part-time rather than full-time, it can definitely help you as well, right? If you're looking to get out of fly in, fly out work, okay, this could be for you as well. The reason why I say that is because, honestly, back in my 20s, I worked in for a very short period of time, worked in a mine in Blackwater in Queensland, and you know, you could just see guys selling their souls there, and I've helped a lot of guys come through, get out of that, okay, exit without dropping their income and move forward into something else, okay? Once again, sort of similar thing. If you're looking to replace a high income, then this is for you, because you can build 2 things simultaneously rather than just have to go fork a whole heap of money out. The whole thing is you get momentum before you leave your existing role, which is always the smartest way of doing things, because cash flow flows, right? Some people think they've got a business but don't really, as in they can't take holidays, you can't leave or anything like that. If that's you, okay, then this is for you as well. I can help you with that situation as well, okay? Anyway. So why am I giving this information for free? Why have I put all the effort in, made this video, and so on and so forth? First, it gives us time to know each other a little bit better, okay? Because I'm giving the genuine information out to you, and then you can decide if it's for you, if you want to chat further, okay? Honestly, some people will invest in further education, invest in shortcuts. Like if you go to, I always say, you don't get a piece of A4 paper and like literally get a ruler and mark lines and then draw up a house and then go to a builder and say, hey, can you build this for me? Because you wouldn't have a very good result, because you really don't know what you're doing. You go to an architect, the architect knows what they're doing, then they can pass it to the builder. Same deal, right? So some people will come and invest in shortcuts with me because it becomes a no-brainer, you know? You don't, if you've got something wrong with you and you need surgery, you don't go and grab some scalpels and chop yourself up and hope for the best, right? You go to someone that knows what they're doing, an expert, and you pay the expert. Same deal, okay? No matter what happens, I get a buzz out of the feedback, good, bad, or ugly. So yeah, anyway, and you also get a total understanding of me, my system, my guys, and how it all works. So I sort of will walk you through the whole thing as we go. Once I said, this takes a little bit of time, so just stick with me as we go through, right? If you've ever heard of Zig Ziglar basically was from a sales trainer back in America, and his whole thing was, if you give people what they want, you can get anything you want in return. So it's a pretty good sort of exchange of value, I guess, right? Anyway, so here's what we're going to cover. Just a little bit about myself and past, so you sort of know what I've done, what even gives me the right to be standing here and talking to you, okay? The right plan to raise your income, so I'll discuss different ways you can actually build your income up without having to risk leaving the security of your existing role, but do it simultaneously. I'll talk about some solutions and so on and so forth. I'll talk about the opportunity, how we can actually help you. Okay, I'll give you some product examples as well, show you how much money you can make as well, and then I'll show you what to do next. If you want help, you can have a conversation. This is not a long-winded sales pitch. This is going through some proper information so you can make an educated and informed decision for yourself, right? Anyhow, yeah. Very, very important. What I'm going to take you through, so I'm going to take you through a whole heap of information, which I'll go through in a tick, right? But even if you want help afterwards, I have to make sure you're the right person. It's not for everyone, okay? I have to have a conversation with you, make sure I can actually work with you, and make sure I can actually help you, okay? Because myself, my team, and I have to make sure that we're going to be a good fit together. I'll talk about how you can apply it and have a conversation afterwards, right? So any questions, write them down as you go. just leave it in there, and then later on, if we do have a conversation, I can cover off on questions for you, no problems at all. Anyway, yeah. If you're not willing to go through every minute of this video, please don't bother applying. The reason why I say that is because each piece joins the next piece. It's really, really important, okay? So just take the time. It's not that difficult, right, to stay focused. You can watch a movie, you can watch this, you know? I may not be as entertaining as a Steven Seagal, whatever his name is, movie, but I'll take you through and give you the proper information. Anyway, so just before we get right into the nitty gritty, just a little bit about myself and my story, right? I've got a family, my daughter Courtney, son Jacob, son Christian as well. So, you know, I get out and do stuff with my kids and so on and so forth. Been married twice, divorced twice, so you probably don't really want to talk to me about marriage advice. Stick with business stuff with me is probably a better thing, right? So if you've ever been through that situation, I know your story, I know what you would have gone through, right? I get out and about and do stuff with my kids and so on and so forth. The whole goal is there should never be, a lot of people live their life thinking about, oh, I want to head to a destination, right? And the destination is retirement, right? Or the destination is, how can I get that holiday that I booked that's a year out, you know what I mean? What you really should be doing, what you should be considering, life is actually the journey, okay? So you're going through and doing different things and business and life blends together. So there is no destination, right? The journey is along the way, and you're picking up stuff and experiences along the way. I learned that back when I was in my late 20s by a guy that was worth about $100 million, right? And it stuck with me ever since, and it's a way I've lived my life ever since. So things I do, like my daughter lives with me, which I take care of her the best I can anyway. She's getting older now, so she takes care of herself pretty much, right? My sons come visit, get out, do activities and go to out, and I've got a couple of like motorhome buses and so on and so forth. Get out, to take them to the beach, the river and so on and so forth, all stuff kids like to do, right? Originally grew up in Sydney. I moved up to the Gold Coast, and it was interesting because when I was living in Sydney, I was running my own business, and it was my first business, and making so much money I was paying the actual house off as I was actually faster they can actually build it. That's sort of another story, right? Travel locally and overseas regularly, get all over the place, literally live life with a laptop, phone, and the internet. I don't show you how to do it, I do it myself and then help you do it as well, right? Go to my kids' events. I have a team of 11 in the background as well. There's some couple of photos, just bits and pieces that's happened over time. My daughter in Disneyland, I took her to Hong Kong Disneyland, why not, right? If you're importing from China, you might as well tag a China trip in between. The photo in the middle there is actually in Guangzhou in China, and actually finding a little area that is a Chinese run Italian buffet. Sometimes it's hard to get food in China, but that particular point in time wasn't that hard. And then, you know, attending one of my son's little events. You know, if you've got kids or had kids, you know what the kids like to see at the little events and so on and so forth, right? So could it be better? Yes, definitely, right? Everyone can be better. Do I live life on my own terms? Definitely, yes. Can you do the same? Yes, if you're actually willing to do something, right? So how have I actually done it? Like, what's got me from basically a high school dropout, okay, to where I am now, you know, living on the Gold Coast, traveling the world, owning a heap of property, all that sort of stuff, right? I've invested in myself, okay, in education, and I've invested in shortcuts, right? At the end of the day, you can do the same, okay? The opportunity may have been presented to you in the past, will be presented to you later on, but you're going to make the choice to do it. You can't sit there in fear, because you've got to crack through the fear barrier so you can actually get through to where you want to go, right? So everything about to tell you is, once again, not to brag, okay? So know exactly who you're actually dealing with, right? This is my first business, a property maintenance business that I started in Sydney, right? Second business, a gazebo business that was manufacturing gazebos, and I was doing it all around Australia, multi-million-dollar business as well. This one here, manufacturing portable homes and so on and so forth, right? This is one of my importing business now. It's called Freedom Wholesale, where I import stuff from Vietnam, China and South Africa, right? And this is a unique business which sort of takes care of helping people get into the business. It's like the umbrella over the top of the importers in a circle and so on and so forth, right? So essentially now I'm my fifth multi-million-dollar business. There is others, right? Some failed and some succeeded, but if you ever fail, you've got to get up and keep going, right? So it was not always like that. Honestly, I started 100% dead broke. So it doesn't matter where you are right now. You literally got to draw a line in the sand and go, okay, cool, man. Doesn't matter where I am. I want to get in and get going, right? So one big lesson I learned really, really early on is you must only ever take advice from someone that knows what they're actually doing, right? So a guy that drives around in a ute and makes 80 grand a year, for example, he doesn't have a business, okay? He's just got another form of a job, right? So when it comes down to business, if you take advice, you need to take advice from someone that knows what they're actually doing and someone that's actually done it and someone that can actually steer you past things, okay? Because unfortunately, there's a lot of people that can always situate around you that are negative, right? Quite often it's yin and yang, like husband and wife or wife and husband, whichever way, partners, whatever, friends, whatever. There's one person saying it can't be done, the other one person that wants to do it, right? I remember a guy, Josh, he just came and signed up for a second one of my programs, right? A few years back, he had someone that is actually literally holding him back for years and years, right? He came, met me, sort of went through a couple of things and so on and so forth, and then he actually came on board and literally smashed out of the ballpark, got a multi-million-dollar business now, but he was getting held back for a while there, right? But he had to make the decision to, okay, cool, I'm going to take a calculated risk and move forward and break through some fear, or I'm just going to sit where I am, which might be a little bit comfortable with money, but I don't really like what I was doing. He was actually working on oil rigs, so he literally hated it. Can you imagine being on an oil rig for weeks on end? That would literally, it's a form of prison in my book. Anyway, I grew up in the Hills District in Sydney. Went to school, dropped out at sort of the end of year 10. I was working away and so on and so forth, working different places. 24 years old, working long hours, and I was basically living in a hotel, right? So if you've lived in a hotel, basically what happens is the lounge room is a bar, right? So you essentially drink your wages and so on and so forth, right? I remember I moved from sort of central New South Wales around Hay up to Newcastle, and once again looked at a hotel to stayed in there. And I remember I was so broke, I actually said to the publican, can you loan me some money? He told me no. I went back about 10 minutes later, asked him again, and he said no. And then, without giving up, like one of the keys is not giving up as well, right? I actually went through and asked him again. He said, mate, if you ask me again, I'm going to kick you out, right? Anyway, cut a long story short, I had a beat up old Gemini, a $1,500 car I owed a friend of mine. His name is Mark, still there these days at the service station in Marsfield in near Eastwood in Sydney, and I owed him money on this Gemini, and like I was literally broke and then owed money as well, right? So literally down to nothing, okay? I actually got money from a site superintendent. At that point in time, I was working for a company called Thieves, right? And I actually got money from a site superintendent, which was a guy that ran the site. He loaned me some money, which was lucky, and it sort of got myself through. But I made a decision right there and then, right, that I did not want to be in that situation again, and I decided to do something about it, right? So anyway, I was still working away, started investing myself, started to figure out that if I invested in myself and invested in shortcuts, that would get me further, because I was looking around at other successful people. They didn't just go and work it all out themselves and try and take the free road. They actually invested in shortcuts to actually get to where they want to go, right? Anyway, I went through, started my own business, which was a property maintenance business, after I'd gone through and worked a bunch of different jobs and so on and so forth, right? To my surprise with the formula, because I invested in shortcuts, right? I didn't even know as much as I know now, right? Went from zero to $1 million in sales 8 months, literally paid my house off, right? Paid my house off back in those days. It was a $320,000 mortgage, right? Which is nothing for Sydney these days, right? But paid it off in a short period of time. Then went through to 2.5 and $3.5 million. Sold it. Unfortunately, they didn't pay me in a pile of cash, but they still paid me good money. Sold it and then moved to Queensland, because my goal was to move to Queensland. Everyone's got a different lifestyle change and so on and so forth. I just found the weather was balanced and so on and so forth. I'm literally standing, live on the water and so on and so forth in Queensland. Anyway, bought another business for a couple $100,000. Went from zero to $2.5 million in year one, $4.7 million in year two, and then 6.1 in year three, right? So this is sales going up, and I sort of figured out at that time how to refine it, and sort of sat at that level for a while, right? That sort of growth puts me at BRW position 58 in BRW Fast 100, right? I've authored 9 different books, got a couple more on the way, and so on and so forth. So I've started to put my knowledge back out to people like I'm doing right now, okay? Some of those books are on Amazon as well. There's other bits and pieces I've spoken internationally, overseas, Chicago, well, internationally, overseas, obviously. Chicago, I've spoken out. I've spoken in Texas, been nominated for Gold Coast Young Entrepreneur of the Year. A whole heap of other bits and pieces have happened over time. Spoken to other people's stages and so on and so forth in Australia as well, right? Also, not long ago, I was invited to Las Vegas to speak at the International Business Builders Conference, which is in the old Sahara. That's all been renovated. It's called SLS. I changed it back to the Sahara now, interestingly enough, right? That is in Vegas. And for an Australian to get invited overseas to do that sort of stuff is a big thing, right? Just to be really clear and spell it out, right? I started from nothing, right? So it doesn't matter where you are, what situation you're in. If you're willing to have a crack and follow through, right, you can get there, okay? Many people fear loss, okay? But there's no need to fear loss because you follow through. There is no loss, okay? You just got to follow through and be consistent, you know? Every day I talk to people, but what if it doesn't work? So, well, what if it does, man? That's the thing, right? Because it definitely does. There's no if, buts, or maybes about that importing works, but there's all these traps if you don't know what you're doing that you can fall down, right? So it's not a matter of what if it works. The question is really, are you going to work it, right? You've got the opportunity, just run with it. You don't have to be over this like, high school dropout at the end of the day, right? I've had no handouts or anything. I even remember asking my dad when I was broke for $2,000, he told me to basically politely jam it, right? Anyway, so I learned that lesson. I had to find a way to make it happen, which I do every day, and anyone can find a way to make it happen if they actually try, right? Also, over and above that, you're not in mistakes. So whatever's happened in the past, right? You've literally got to draw a line and go, okay, cool, that's what's happened in the past. That's the end of it. I'll draw a line and I'll move forward from there. I've made heaps of mistakes, still do, but I keep moving forward from it, right? And if you change, then things will change. Nothing is worse than standing there thinking, okay, cool, I'll just keep doing this same thing and then maybe something will change, right? You have to literally go out of your way to make it change and so on and so forth. And when you take action, things happen, right? Like you can have the knowledge, but the knowledge is useless without taking action to follow it through, right? You can have the tools, but the tools are useless without taking action to follow it through. And one big thing too, right? I want to be really clear on this. People think that they can make all this money overnight. They're like, how fast can I make money, right? It's not how fast can you make money, right? It's how stable can you make your money, right? So it might take you 3, 6, 12 months to start to get the momentum to replace your existing income. But what's going to happen if you do that now and then move forward and in 3 years time, you're going to look back and be making way more what you are now. But people just want to just get off one thing. It's like, everything's so instant these days, they don't understand the reality that some things take time, right, to be realistic about it, right? There's no magic pill making money, right? You just got to put consistent effort in over time and get to wherever you want to be, right? Anyway, myself and a team of 11 have helped over 100 people get into their own business, right? Results ranging from zero, right, all the way to $1 million a year in profit, right? Why zero? Because if someone does nothing, obviously they're going to get nothing. People come in and they'll run off another path. That's fine if that's what you want to do, right? At the end of the day, the variable is you, okay? So you've actually got to get in there, follow through, and just be consistent. People go to a job they hate for 40 years, right? And they might have multiple jobs they hate over 40 years, right? But point being, they still turn up, right? And they still put the effort in, and they could put the same or less effort into their own business over time and be completely free, right? They're the same. People won't put in 18 months or 2 years of sacrifice to get to where they want to go, but they'll sit and do something they hate for 40 years. It's crazy, right? Anyway, these are all the different people I've helped over time. Just every people from all different walks of life: truck drivers, business owners, multi-millionaires, carpenters, plumbers, doctors, government inspectors, receptionists, labourers, concreters, fly and fly out workers, salespeople, baggage handlers, builders, government workers, bank managers, school teachers, accountants, and so many more. At the end of the day, my system can help you, but you've got to actually be willing to take action and follow through, right? I'll give you the opportunity to take, I'm going to show you a heap more stuff first. Opportunity to take action, but you actually got to do it, okay? Because no one's going to literally pick you up and carry you there, right? You got to literally do it yourself, pick up the phone, fill in a form, have a conversation, and then follow through from that point, right? Anyway, I've got bucket loads of different success stories. I think at this point in time, there's about 30-ish 5-star reviews on Google. If you Google importing cash flow, you'll see the reviews when you click the button, right? Tons of video reviews. This is probably not even half of them. Almost all these guys are paying clients, right? Some might have gone to something that I've gone on, but 90% of them would be actually paying clients that have come in, paid from the system, and gone through and got up going. Let's see, I'm honest, genuine, and do exactly what I say, right? And I keep this. One of the reasons why my whole program is by application only is I keep it a little bit tight, so I only get the right people and build a good community as well, right? Other written reviews and so on and so forth that people have sent through. For example, this guy here, right? That's awesome. You really do run a business that looks after your customers and so on and so forth. And went through. My hats off to your team. Any chance I get with anyone I know looking for something like this, I'll be recommending you. Oh, that's where my customers come through. We've taken through the whole process. They're up, running and going, right? This one here. Thanks for the brilliant session. That's been nicely organised. Thank you for all the staff and the wonderful opportunity to become part of this process and so on and so forth. This one here, It's such a pleasure. Meet you, Matt, and Courtney, which is my daughter, because my daughter comes and sometimes helps as well, right? The training was so informative. We're so excited to get started with filling in a questionnaire and so on and so forth, which is all part of the process that we take you through, right? So always getting these nice written reviews, which are really good. This one here, I'd like to take the opportunity to say thanks for helping us start our business from the bottom of hearts. We do appreciate it a lot, making our dreams come true. Nothing is more fulfilling than you actually take through and get someone up, running and going. And these are genuine 100% emails that people are sending to us afterwards. Obviously got the video reviews and the 5-star reviews and on Google as well, right? I'm not trying to boast you, I'm just trying to show you what we've done in the past, right? Before, I'm going to get into the nitty gritties first, but I have to show you all this as well so you get the bigger picture, right? Of course, as normal, with any business, there's also haters. Be it good, bad, or otherwise, people can be nice, and there's always haters that you find. For example, this person here, this one up here, and you can easily, when you Google my name, you'll find a website called Whirlpool, right? And in essence, you can't hide from it. And this guy here tells me that none of these guys are customers, by the way, that apparently he wouldn't trust someone like me, despite all the video reviews and all the 5-star reviews. This guy's probably living in his basement. No one knows who he is because he's completely anonymous and definitely not a customer, right? This guy here doesn't even know what he's talking about. He's talking about Amazon, but this other guy first up here, thankfully enough, he corrected that I'm not talking about Amazon, which is a good thing, right? This guy here, this another place called Emptor Reviews, which was just very, very strange, that said they came to a Gold Coast training, which they never actually came to because there's only about 10 people there, and I knew every person there. There's actually a competitor from Sydney that essentially lived not far away from when I did a discovery day that I don't really do anymore in Sydney, and came and spent the time to write a big review to try and discredit me. I feel that people that do that, go to that amount of effort to actually discredit someone, right, and never written another review about anyone else, right, they sort of sink their own ship because it brings bad karma on them. That's my view, because I believe it's competitive, right? Anyway, and of course, right, the haters only love to hate, right? So this is interesting because the same website, if you go in, you can actually see 1, 2, 3 times where I've actually written to create a balanced view, okay? Where I said, hey man, this is not right, you're not actually a customer, I don't know who you are, happy to have a conversation with you, clear out whatever your thoughts, I'll even meet with you face to face and so on. So the website actually deletes the good, positive stuff, they only let negative stuff stay. So anyway, if you do happen to find that, that's my side of the story. You can make your own choice whether I can help you or not. I know I definitely can. And if you go back to all the video reviews, which are back here, right, you'll see there's bucket loads of people that we've done the right thing about, and as always, a handful of haters, right? So anyway, it's sort of best to bring that up front because that way you know it exists, right? Anyway, so do my systems work? Yes, without any doubt, right? It's a business, it's a process, and so on and so forth. I don't leave any link of the chain not there. It's all there, right? Will they work for you? Yes. But you got to follow through and take action, right? If you're willing to take action, you can get to where you want to go, right? Those people that wrote all that negative stuff, they're just sitting behind the computer or behind an anonymous email. You don't know who they are. They've probably done nothing in their entire lives, literally sitting in their computer all day long. Anyway, the truth. The only variable is you, okay? That's honest truth, okay? You don't have to be overly smart, you just have to be consistent, okay? If you follow the steps, you can get through and actually succeed, right? So this is very important. A system and processes delivers results, not random events, right? So everything's a system and process, okay? Everything's a system and process. It doesn't rely on what might change or might happen. It's a system and a process, just follow through, right? Anyway, so all that was not to brag. It's essentially just so you have an idea on who you're dealing with. I'm honest and upfront. I'll show you the good and the bad and the ugly, and you can make your own choices as you go through if you actually want to get someone and actually want someone to help you. I'm still not getting into bits and pieces to show you how it all works, but I will and give you some solid information in a minute, right? So I was selling a gazebo business back in 2014. I've been putting people into business with a solid step-by-step system, right? The main focus is helping people import. Like, for example, one of the things I do, right, is actually go across to China. It's now turned into pretty much a 5-day trip, right? Meet clients there, show them how to deal with things, go to different areas and stuff like that, and literally crack the code of importing. Because I literally went for 4 years before I could actually figure it all out properly. Then what I actually figured out was I should have been buying a shortcut the whole way because I'm trying to do it. And I remember last time I was in China, there was a guy, he came to a training that I had. It was a complimentary training, came, thought he was smart, And he was a bit arrogant and so on and so forth on the phone. I said, look, man, I don't know that I can help you. I don't know even wanted to go on board anyway. And I could see him literally getting led around by the Chinese, just getting rorted, like completely lost, right? And then afterwards, a few months later, he actually contacted me. He said, man, I need some help. I said, mate, I'm going to have a consideration about that because I've got enough clients at the moment. And like the way you're sort of carrying on last time, I wouldn't want to put that in front of stuff. I know that sounds bad, right? But just being honest, because I try and create a community so everyone in there is all totally cool and together and everyone's sort of on the same page. Anyway, so training, helping clients and so on and so forth, sourcing other products and so on and so forth. So I do it myself. I don't hand it over to some so-called BS coach, right? I do it myself and do the training myself, right? And I help people myself as well. I've got people in the background that I answer questions and so on and so forth, but I'm always available for people to help push them forward, which is the goal. Do you know what I mean? It's like you see people out there helping people and they go, oh yeah, cool, man, this is me, but you never actually see me again because I'm an actual, I have these coaches that don't really know what they're doing underneath. I actually help you myself. That's why I keep how I help people small, because obviously running my own importing business as well, right? Anyway, doing everything with laptop, phone, the internet, right? That's me literally in China right there, sitting there in a hotel in Guangzhou, waiting for a plane, laptop, internet, and phone, and also actually printing because I have to print stuff out and so on and so forth, right? So you get the idea. Anyway, at the end of the day, like I said before, taking action delivers rewards. Nothing delivers bigger rewards than actually doing something and following through. You literally got to do something and follow through because otherwise you stay exactly where you are, right? Anyway, enough about me, right? Let's just talk about money for a minute, okay? So this is the money pyramid, okay? Now, I'll be honest with you, and you be honest with yourself, right? It doesn't matter where you are at this exact point in time, right? I started here underneath the pyramid, right? I started underneath the pyramid, and at the end of the day, I pushed through and I worked my way all the way up here, right? This high six-figure income and high six-figure, seven-figure income and affluent, which is like the 4%. You'll notice that most people will sit in this 80%, so the 20%, so they're just making a living, so just surviving, right? Or they're broke, right? And these 15%, and this is like the top 20%, everything's like 80-20 once you understand how it all works, right? The only difference, right? The only difference, okay? Read my lips, listen to what I say. The only difference in between someone that sits here and someone that sits here, the people that go up here in the 15 and the 4, right? They actually do something and follow through. They take a risk and they follow through. The guys that sit here, they never do jack shit because they listen to people that don't know, right? And they also just don't do anything because like fear just like grinds them. I was talking to a guy yesterday on the phone, right? He's going, oh yeah, I want to get out my insurance job and so on and so forth, right? I don't want to do this, I've done it for 17 years, this sounds good, blah, 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 right? Anyway, you could just hear the fear in it. I said, what's the concern? He goes, oh, I've got a mortgage and so on and so forth. So, okay, fair enough. Then I started asking the question. I said, do you have any money in redraw? He goes, yeah, I do. I said, how much money do you have in redraw? He goes, $70,000. I go, okay, cool. So you got 70 grand in redraw. He goes, plus I'm getting a $30,000 bonus in February, right? I say, okay, cool. So you got 100 grand there, okay? Plus you go and get finance if you wanted to as well in regards to getting on with. So you could leave all that 100 grand, still leave you being an existing role, right? The whole thing's tax deductible. And what's the concern now? But I may not make money. Well, why wouldn't you make money? It's a business. It's exactly the same as you follow through, right? So it was unnecessary fear. It didn't even really exist, right? But he was creating in his head because all nice and comfortable. I'm getting a little job. I'll sit in a little job, right? That you hate. It's crazy, right? It just doesn't make any sense. If you don't like doing something, then get the hell out of there and change it, right? Even if it takes a little bit of time, you just have to put up with it in the meantime. I remember when I was moving from Sydney to the Gold Coast, I wanted to be on the Gold Coast, end of story, right? And I had to sit tight, remain calm, put up with it, sort of put everything in place, build a house, sell my business and so on and so forth, which you would know now I probably would have kept it, right? And move up here. I just had to grin and bear it and push through, but I pushed through and got to where I wanted to go. That's the difference between success and failure, right? Anyway, so here's 3 reasons why you want to be financially enlightened, right? Now, financially enlightened, have money. Money really equals freedom because it gives you the ability to do what you want, when you want, how you want. It doesn't mean you have to turn into an idiot once you got money, right? Your personality, whatever it is, will stay the same. It might just get a bit more magnified, right? Anyway, so 1, for lifestyle, right? I've met people that thought they were brought up to think that people that had money that was bad, right? It's complete and total BS, right? Money feeds your lifestyle. Bottom line, okay? If you want to go somewhere, you can just literally book a plane and go somewhere, right? Like, you know, if I wanted to literally grab my laptop, shut it, I should finish this video first, shut it, book a plane this afternoon and go wherever, I could, right? The only variable in that is making sure my kids are taken care of, which I can, okay? So you're not a saint for being broke. Having no money is not better, okay? And everyone has their own thing, but it's not just money, it's money and freedom mixed together, right? Anyway, essentially, at the end of the day, it's your actual duty to be rich, right? Why? Okay? You can help others who will never have the opportunity. I'll give you an example, right? One of my guys, like, not everyone wants to run a business. So one of my guys that's worked for me nearly 10 years, she had some personal problems, right? I gave her 10 grand. I just gave her the 10 grand. Didn't ask for it back, gave it to her. I've done it with multiple staff over time, right? Just to help them, okay? Wholly and solely because I could, right? And other people I know that have been stuck, and so I've given them money just to help them, right? Because I know that when you run a business, there's no lack of money. You just got to go out and collect it and just be consistent, and the money will come right back. No problems at all, right? Who you have to become to, some people think that they'll turn into a different person. You'll still be proud of yourself, okay? Because you'll be able to help others and so on and so forth. People go, I want to go and volunteer and feed the homeless. Cool, that's good, right? But how about have a business, okay, to make money so you can feed even more homeless, okay? That's really what it comes down to, okay? So you've got to consider those three reasons to have money and be free, okay? Because money plus freedom. It's more, most people want freedom more than they want the money. They want the money to fund the freedom. That makes sense, right? They're not talking about having hundreds of millions of dollars. I'm talking about being in a position so you can do whatever you want, when you want, however you want. So whatever you're happy to do, you can just do it, right? Anyway, so let's talk about you for a minute, okay? Here's the problem, okay? To get to the top of that pyramid, you need literally a plan. So you need to have a plan to actually get there, right? And you have to push yourself up the pyramid. If you've ever seen people that have made money then gone broke and so on and so forth, they've literally pushed themselves back up because they know just bang, 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 and they just do it, right? There's no fear there, okay? The fear is the big thing I keep talking about. You've got to crack through it to get to where you want to go, right? Anyway, so how do you actually solve the problem? Importing is the right plan when you buy low and sell high. Now, many people think, okay, yeah, I can just go to Alibaba. Man, that is like the 101 wrong way to do it, right? Because you're not buying at the right price, you don't understand the quality, you don't understand all the middlemen, you don't understand how they charge you for taxes and they get the money back and agent and so on. So there's all these little moving parts. And buying a thing here and there is never really going to make any money, right? You have to have reliable, consistent way to get customers, right? Reliable, consistent way to turn those customers into sales, right? And reliable, consistent way to deliver the product. So then you can pump volume into it and you go as big as you want to and marry it back to your income goal. So if your income goal is 100 grand, you just got to work out how many things you need to sell to make that 100 grand. And honestly, when the transaction price goes up, it makes it ridiculously easy, right? Anyway. So I'll just quickly go through the 7 benefits of importing, right? So first, it's easy to do from home, right? I'll go through these in detail in a minute, right? There's literally an abundance of opportunity, no qualifications needed. Like at the end of the day, I dropped out of high school, right? Escape from your current situation. So whatever you don't like doing, you can get into something else. Perfect business. Why? Because I figured out the hard way what was good and bad and so on and so forth, right? Takes you from average living to living in style, okay? And highly profitable when done right and when you know how to meet and trust the right people. One of the biggest problems people have, 1, what product will I do? 2, how do I know the quality is going to be okay and how do I know how to sell it? Easily solved. Help you with the product, give you the contacts, and show you exactly how to sell the stuff. You just got to follow through and do it, you know what I mean? I've been selling stuff for 20 plus years, okay? With actual systems, and when I get momentum and one, I go, okay, cool. I'll build another one, right? Anyway, let's go through each benefit in a little bit more detail, right? First, easy to do. Follow a step-by-step system. Can you follow a step-by-step system? Can you put your hand up and say, hey, I need help? When you need help, if you can do that, you're in, right? There's low risk, minimal investment required. You don't have to go and mortgage your house, you know what I mean? Like I work with a finance broker and one of the things that he tells me is that people come in and they go, okay, cool. Hey, so I've got a plan where I want to go and get a noodle box and there's Westfield Shopping Centre and I'm going to give you a 10-year lease and I'll charge me this and so on and so forth. They're in for like 600 grand. They never actually figure out that how many noodle boxes they have to sell to make that money back. It's astronomical, right? Anyway, you can work from home or anywhere you like, okay? It's easy to import without using your own money once you understand how. There's different ways of doing it. One of the things that's within the importers in the circle is the cash on demand system. So I show you how to turn 2 grand to 10 grand, 10 grand to 40 grand. It's like a fast start way of doing stuff, right? Benefit 2 is opportunity. So I'll just quickly run through this video now. I'll bring it up on the full screen so you can see the opportunity of what's around in China. We're actually inside the Canton Fair now. There's a whole heap of security. They take you through. The buzzers are going off left, right and centre. So we're actually going inside the hall now. It's absolutely massive inside here, as you can imagine. Now the real thing on here at this phase 2 is look at some outdoor products. So as we go, I'll show you a couple of different examples. First of all, be easy, you could sell awnings, okay? You can import awnings from China and sell them. You spin around here, there's outdoor furniture. We're actually obviously in that outdoor area, right? You walk down here a little bit, there's tables and chairs, all different types, all different sizes. We go down here further, different types of awnings, different types of umbrellas, you could sell those. You know, you could have a... All right, so also more other products that you can have a look at is, you know, you could just sell safes. You know, these safes, never seen anything like it in Australia. Camping gear, check this out. You know, you could have an online store where you're selling only camping gear and get in some select items. Okay, so we've got a catalogue. So here's some examples, and like it is best to do in a niche sort of zone. Here's some examples. This is the exact sort of stuff that comes from BCF, and you could actually be importing this. So that's it, that's how it's done. So it's really cool. There's so many opportunities here, it's just crazy. So I'll put these in my bag and we'll keep going. We've got another place here, like much more different styles of beds. Some kids lounges / beds. You could specialise in only selling this stuff here, you have to come down here. Furniture like this is unique. Like something like this, maybe a couple $100. In Australia, probably retail for $600 or $700. Go down here, more camping stuff. Do you know what I mean? You specialise in camping stuff. There's kids camping chairs. There's all different types of camping chairs. You only need 1 or 2 types of supplies. Look at this, mirrored wardrobes. You know, this is a perfect thing. You could sell this to retail stores and you sell this to customers. Like these go for a few $100s. They probably cost, you know, 30, 40 bucks. And when you bring it to Australia, massive profit margin. For kids, actual costumes for kids. Great thing, you know. You sell a few of these each week and basically what will happen is the money will start rolling into your bank account. They're easy, quick, easy, not hard to post. So now we're actually inside the centre area of the Canton Fair. You can see how big the place is. There's actually vehicles over here. I'll show you. There's actually, when you come through and you start looking at all the booths, which I've shown you a couple of them, then you can catch, there's buses that go up to the other fair. You see way over there, probably maybe about 800-900 metres away, there's another location, so which is another one of the halls. In total, there's 3 halls, A, B, and C, and each one has different levels and it's split into different zones. Like I said, 200 or 300 times the size of something like Sydney Entertainment Centre. Anyway, we'll keep going. I'll show you some more stuff as we go through. This gives you some idea of the actual size of the Canton Fair. Like I keep saying it's massive, but I'll give you some sort of clarification on it. This is hall 4.1, okay? So this is just one hall and one level of one hall, right? Basically, look at all the exhibitors. There's a couple of hundred there, and like this is the entrance to it. Bear in mind, it's one level of one hall, right? So we just walked through and we spent probably maybe 1.5 hours walking through there and didn't even see it all. There's hundreds. Any exhibition in Australia, one level, one thing. This gives you a bit more of an idea over here, this wall over here. So that list you just saw was hall 4.1. You got all these other halls. There's hundreds upon hundreds upon hundreds of people to go and see and look, and opportunities. They're just everywhere. We're now heading across. You'll see people catch the buses. We've chosen to walk. It's maybe not a kilometre, but about 800 metres across the other side of the Canton Fair. Now, this side here, we've got Hall A, which is, you can see how massive it is. See all the buses lined up to take the people who are not willing to walk. This side here, we've got Hall B, okay, and there's other things that go outside as well. And then way down there where we're heading is Hall C. There's also other tents and so on outside that they actually have, because they can't fit everything in.
And I showed you the map just before. There's hundreds upon hundreds, if not thousands, of different displays here. And like I said, this is only one of the phases. So I guess the downside of this, what I'm showing you here, is you're only seeing one of the phases. Like phase 1, which I've obviously been to before, there's hardware, you get screws, you can get brackets, generators, motorbikes, bicycles, buggies like this one going past here. You know, you get to buy buggies like that there. You name it, it's either in phase 1 or phase 2. Like I said, don't recommend coming to phase 3. And like I said too, also throughout these videos a couple of times. So we'll keep continuing. We'll see what's in Hall C, and then we'll go from there.
Benefit 3, no qualifications needed. So you need to only talk to customers and organise things, right? Plus there's stuff that can be done online depending on, because there's really 2 types of models. There's either selling low price products online, or selling high price products still online, but you're talking to people, right? So no prior experience. Inquiries come to you once you advertise, so people come to essentially your shop front, which is your website, once you advertise, right? Escape from current situation, international holidays. You've got to love international holidays. It's a much, much better way to actually live, right? Phone, laptop, and internet is all you actually need. It's simple, straightforward, and an easy way. Literally, you have a small laptop, you can fit everything in a backpack if you really want to, right? It can be 85% automated. There's different ways that I teach throughout the training. You can actually automate things. And you can have prestige amongst friends, so you're actually an importer rather than just a person, I guess, right? Lifestyle, if you travel, you can go from place to place. Like, hey, your idea of a lifestyle might be traveling around Australia in a bloody caravan, right? Your idea of lifestyle might be spending time on the other side of the world, visiting family and friends. Your idea of the lifestyle might be spending time going to a relative or a family, a friend's house in another state and being able to work and not being tied down in a job, not having to wait for that 4-week holiday or whatever, or not having to try and freak out that someone's not running your business properly, right? So at the end of the day, you can design your own lifestyle, right? Perfect business, low overhead. Why? Because you can keep everything at the minimal cost, and then if you want to add bits and pieces in as you go, you can, right? Low risk. So in essence, you're not risking $500,000, right? You make a small, low risk, and everything works as long as it goes, right? High profits, high profit margins. So when you're buying as low as possible and selling as high as possible and cutting out all the middlemen, obviously the profits just automatically increase, right? Easy to run. You just got to be consistent. Put consistent effort in. Consistent. It's not hard, right? It's not eBay or Amazon. These platforms can be used, right? But I'll show you multiple ways of selling. One, advertising direct to you. You can use those platforms. I don't specialize in teaching those platforms, okay? There's a dime a dozen people that will flog your Amazon dream all day long, particularly hard. There's heaps easier ways to sell, which I take you through as part of the Importers Inner Circle, right? It takes you from average living to living a better lifestyle. So more time with your actual family, okay? Proper holidays, and some people want less time with their family, you know? Proper holidays, higher income. So there's no cap on your income. It's not determined on how many hours you do. It's determined on how many transactions you do, right? Less financial pressure as well. So you're not really in a situation where you're just struggling from week to week, okay? Highly profitable, so high profit margins. You only buy the goods as orders come in, but there's other ways you do them. We can buy a little bit of stock, like I talked about before, the cash on demand, to turn 2 grand, 10 grand, 10 grand, 40 grand. Like, man, that's worth it alone, right? No stock unless you want to, okay? High price or repeat business customers, or you can be online stuff as well, right? We mold the business model to use. One of the things we do is like an onboarding call, figure out what you want, where you want to be, how you want your lifestyle to work, and then wrap a business around that, including the product and so on and so forth, right? And then sort of steer you down the path step by step to get it all up and going, right? So you got high price products, low price products, like I said, right? So at the end of the day, right? This is how easy it is. First, you've got to find a market, right? So you've got to find someone that actually wants to buy something. Sometimes people try and invent stuff. It's not generally a good idea because you're going to educate people. Do you know what I mean? Like Uber, for example, the reason why Uber, being an invention, exists and got away with it because there's billions and billions of dollars invested in it. Normal people don't have billions of dollars, right? So you want to jump within an existing market that exists. You want competition. Normally people freak out at competition, but when there's competition there, you know there's a market there, right? Find a product to match the market, okay? Work out your overall costing, your landed cost, and so on and so forth. If it's profitable, you go ahead and promote your actual market, okay? And step 5, look after your actual customers. So go through and make sure you give your customers amazing customer service and take care of them. You know what I mean? One of the big things we do, we always help our customers, no matter what type of business it is. I always make sure I'm out there helping them and so on and so forth. That's why people send me emails like I showed you before. That's why people do videos like I showed you before. You can't help the haters, they exist, right? They got nothing better to do but hate on you. But the good people will be attracted to you, and the good people will want to work with you. Okay, so let's just look at the 3 core components you need to be successful. To be a success, what's a typo in a presentation, right? Importing and selling products, right? So 3 components you need. So first, you need to know how to actually source the products, okay? Source the products right, not sitting on Alibaba or some other website thinking that that's going to work for you, because it's never reliable and predictable, right? You need to know how to sell the actual products, okay? So have a reliable, predictable way to actually sell the products. And you need to know how to scale the business. So you need to know if you want to get bigger, how you actually do it, right? Because a lot of people, they go, yeah, I want to make 100 grand a year, but when they see how easy it is to make and how much time they have left on their hands, right? Then they go, okay, cool, maybe I can push it to the next level and go even further and make it even bigger business now. So component 1, source, right? At the end of the day, right, you need to get it at the right price so you can sell it at the right price, okay? So here's an example. I had a client, okay, and he had a $70,000 order for these like aircon vents, okay? This is random thing that unless you're in the industry, you wouldn't even know what they were, right? And the guy was already buying them from overseas, and he wasn't getting the right price. And I said, man, if you look in this area, you might actually get a much better price, and you go to this manufacturer and join the 2 together. I showed him the little tweaks, right? So automatically made $20,000 profit, not bad, right? And that guy's going to come back and buy from over and over and over again, right? You need reliable contacts on the ground. One of the things I do as part of the Importers Inner Circle is give you the reliable contacts, the right people that will actually help you get to where you actually want to go. I either use them myself or I've actually vetted them so I know that they know what they're actually doing, right? You need a flow of supply, so you need to have reliable people in the background so you can just order and order and order. Like right now, this exact point in time, I've got about 15 containers underway, right? And it's all happening in the background. Like I'm making a video, I'm not on the phone dealing with it because I've got I know how to put the pieces of the puzzle so everything gets to where you want to go and it's reliable and predictable, right? Component number 2, you got to sell, right? So you need to know that the market actually exists, right? So is there a market that exists already? So it's great to get a product, but you could be the next person that ends up a garage full of crap, right? Or garage full of product that they can't sell because they didn't know how to sell it, right? You need to make sure you have a reliable and predictable way to get it to market, as in to get the customers to come to you, right? You don't be calling people like randomly cold call and say, hey man, I've got this, do you want it? That's not how it works, right? People come and inquire and they're interested and they come to you and they want to be with you, okay? You need to offer multiple ways, not just one platform like Amazon and so on and so forth, right? People flog Amazon like it's the next greatest thing. It's no different than eBay 10 years ago. You have multiple platforms, multiple different ways of selling your actual product. We go through in this 30 odd different ways of getting inquiries and customers to come to you, okay? Online, and there's opportunities to do offline as well, which is a very easy and fast way to make money. You can basically be making money in 60 to 90 days if you follow the steps I lay out, for example, in what I call my cash on demand, right? And you have to have a steady flow of leads coming in, day out, like inquiries coming in, day out, because once it's a steady flow, once you go, okay, cool, I've got that, I'm happy with that, you can build it up and have a bigger flow going through, right? Anyway, component number 3, you got to be able to scale, right? So you need to be able to take everything to your actually income goal to get to wherever you want to go. So if you want to make 200 grand a year, it has to be scalable to that, right? Because you pick the wrong product, pick the wrong market, you won't be able to scale it up. This is one of the things I help clarify people. What we do is like have an onboarding call and help clarify that as part of the actual onboarding call to just literally nut it out, because I've gone through and done it so many times and just go bang, 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 bang. This is wrong, this is right, here, do this, do that, and bang, away you go, right? You need to be able to operate with a laptop, phone, and internet, because if you don't, then you're automatically tied into it. Now, it doesn't mean you necessarily will operate with laptop, phone, and internet, but really what that says is, are you free? Are you actually free in what you're doing? You're not tied down or anything like that, right? As I said, it needs to provide you freedom, because the business is scalable and it doesn't provide you freedom, then you're not in the right business, right? Anyway, so it sounds pretty simple, right? So what about products, right? So I just want to quickly look at a couple of products. There's thousands and thousands. Now, almost the number one question, well, there's 2 questions that people go, will this work? Okay, well, first, let me just clarify that. It is a business, right? It is a process, right? I've done it. I've showed you heaps of people that I've helped back on those videos and so on and so forth. The only question is, will you do it, right? And then the next question gets asked, but I can't find a product. That is totally wiped out as soon as you come on board, right? Because take you through, show you all these different ways of finding a product. So, and I actually can help you get a product that has the mathematics out of income goal, the market exists, and you've got an affinity with it. So those sort of three things, right? But you've got to actually make a decision and actually run with the actual product and follow it through. It's as simple as that. So the product's not difficult, right? So there's only a couple of products. In my system, I've got over 80 different product niches. There's more than that now. It really sort of drops down to about 300 different product niches. Lots of people come in with their own ideas. We run them through, see if they're feasible. If they're feasible, then we run with them, right? So these are only 2 examples. So don't take this as gospel because automatically show I'm a product. That won't work because of this and this and this. It's complete BS. That's in your head, right? If other people are selling it, there's no reason why you can't. Given education, given an understanding, given a shortcut, right? Okay, so you got 2 sort of styles of product. A high price product, right? So this is a camper trailer, right? So I've taken the GST off. I've erred on the side of caution here as well, right? So there, if you can read it properly, it says $28,000, okay? The actual price I've gone with their $19,999, right? Taken off the GST because the GST gets back on, so just compare apples with apples, right? And people automatically go, oh man, wouldn't I have to have this, wouldn't I have to have service vehicles, wouldn't I have to have this? No, that's you overcomplicating things, because what happens when you have a block toilet in your house, you don't have a plumber that works full time for you, do you? You contact that plumber when required. I'll show you how to do all this with a laptop, phone, and the internet, and be completely hands-off, okay? You can grow up bigger, and I've had guys come in these sorts of niches, right, and grown into multi-million-dollar businesses. Obviously, they build infrastructure, being truthful to you, but if you want to make 100 grand a year, it's not that hard, right, in this, but you got to know how to get them in, get them right, get them in, and so on and so forth, right? So you look at the actual camper trailer, you got about $8,000 profit, $8,295 profit just selling one camper trailer, right? Because this one here is the actual landed cost from China and the cost for sales, so there's straight up profit, pretty simple mathematics, right? Anyway, you go, what about if we want to make, say, $1 million a year in sales, right? And like some people will be sitting there going, $1 million a year in sales? Now I know that's a big number for some people, other people are totally cool with it, right? Doesn't matter what your goal is, it's just a number to break it down and what you have to do to actually get there, right? And essentially, to make $1 million in sales, you have to sell 54 campers over a year. So let me ask you this question. If you get 100 inquiries per month, right, which is not difficult to do, and you're advertising 100 inquiries coming per month, do you think you could sell 3 or 4 camper trailers a month out of 100 people coming to you asking about it? I think yes, there's companies in this space that are doing 40, 50, 60 million dollars a year just in camper trailers and caravans, right? So to get $1 million out of it is not difficult, right? So I'm not suggesting you have to, but it's not that difficult once you start with a plan and actually follow through, right? So don't sit there thinking about, but I couldn't do camper trailers. I don't like camper trailers. And there's so many people selling camper trailers. Don't think about that. Think about the process, because that product can be interchanged, right? The key to success is actually doing something, not finding all the ways that it can't be done. It's finding the way it can be done. You with me? Because automatically show someone that, but there's all these reasons why I can't do it. There's heaps of reasons why you can do it if you actually follow through. Because what would you rather? Do what you're doing now that you're not enjoying, or would you rather take a chance and start getting going and pick a product and be transactional rather than hourly, right? Anyway, so you break it down, we've got to take out other costs and so on and so forth, adverts, handling, and so on and so forth. Once again, you don't have to touch, feel, see, or do anything with this, right? And it goes through, over 1 year, about $346,000 profit, right? Now, is that all going to happen exactly? Are you going to sell 1 a week exactly? Honestly, no, right? When will that start? From the point of time you start advertising, you'll sell a couple in the first few months, right? The next few months you'll sell more. The next few months you'll sell more. At the end of the 12 months you'll get a whole heap of them because you'll be building momentum and so on and so forth. We show you how to do all that, right? But the key is, like I said before, this by application only, and the reason why it's by application only because I want to be sure that you're actually going to follow through and I can actually help you, okay? And the whole system, how it's showing you how to do all this and pick the right product, get the right supplier, set it all up, right? I've made so it's 100% reliable, 100% predictable, but you've got to get there and actually do it, right? Because people look at that and go, oh, that's too hard. What about this? What about warranty? I'll tell you what happens with warranty, you've got to take care of it. You know what? You're running a business and you're 100% responsible if the customer's got a problem. stand up, take care of the problem so the customer's happy. I was talking to a guy yesterday, a product I sold, he had some problems and someone else repaired it, they didn't do it right. The guy's referring me like crazy because all I've done is help him, okay? All I've done is help him as much as I can, right? And even though someone else that he sort of picked to sort of sort something out, they didn't do the right thing, he knows I've done the right thing. And you know what he's doing with other people? He's not talking nicely about them because they did the wrong thing by him, and he feels bad against that and against me because I have helped him, right? Anyway, so that is a high price product. So you can push it there, no problems, okay? But you got to start and follow through. And hey, even if you don't hit that in year 1 or year 2, you're heading towards that in year 3, you're pretty happy. And when I've done like discovery days and stuff like that, who want to earn that? Yeah, cool. And then they figure out all these reasons why they can't do it. Oh, this is risky, will it work? But you just got to get in there and do it. That's the bit you need to understand. You need to get in there and have a crack, right? So low price product, okay? So this is completely different. So more of an online thing. The one I just showed you before, people would be talking to you on the phone and so on and so forth. No, they don't need to see it, right? Some people will, but I used to sell millions of dollars worth of stuff around Australia, and still do, right? Into different states. They don't see it. They just see pictures, videos, you talk to them, right? Anyway, low price product. So this is something very, very simple. A life vest, right? So this is the price of a life vest. Anyone fairly familiar would see that as a very familiar font to BCF because it did come from BCF, right? Price in Australia is $35.99. Take the GST off, so it's $32.71, right? Look at the price from China. Essentially, it's $8.14 in China, and it's $24.58 in profit, right? So not bad, right? But obviously, you've got to sell a lot of them to get where you want. But the advantage is people will just click a button and buy them, right? So how much money can you make? Sell 100 jackets per month, you make about $2,400 a month. Sell 1,000 jackets a month, make about $14,000 a month. So 14,000 times 12 is about $176,000 profit per year. Now, that's a very basic example. The truth being, we'd build that into a niche and have other things around that. You wouldn't just be selling one jacket. So these numbers then increase overall transaction value and sort of make it work for you, okay? So hopefully that makes sense. So there's two things: high price products, low price products. There's also repeat business, so you can sell something that's sort of, you know, $1,000, $2,000 to a business, and they just come back and buy it over and over again, right? So now the question gets asked, but don't have to spend money up front on stock and so on and so forth. Something like this, you would spend a little bit of money. You might $1,500, $2,000 put on the table, right? And build some momentum, then reinvest the money. Something like the camper trailers, you don't have to, because you can sell them as they go through. And I'll show you different ways of sourcing, so you don't have to buy them up front. Some people want to and some people can, that's fine, right? But I'm not saying you have to, okay? Now, that's pretty darn good, right? Okay, so you're probably thinking this is all too good to be true. Like, you know, can he really make that money and so on and so forth? Like, what's the catch, right? I've told you the whole way through what the catch is. You actually have to bloody well do something, right? If you do nothing, then you're going to get nothing, honestly, right? And don't sit there thinking, oh, but it won't work. It wouldn't work for me. I couldn't do it. My friend said this. My friend said that. You look around, and mostly those people are not successful that are saying that stuff to you. Not that they're bad people, but they're just not been there and done that. You need to invest with someone that's been there and actually done it, okay? Now, you need to put in, this is the catch, right? You need to put in consistent effort over time. Anyone that sits there and tells you that there's some magic pill and you just do this and all of a sudden the money comes flying through, it's complete and total BS, right? I'm sitting there looking you in the eye saying it takes time and takes effort, right? But you put the time and effort in, there's no stopping where you can actually go, right? Now, what is consistent effort, okay? If you put it down to times, an hour a day when you're setting up, it's more the consistency. Even if it's an hour a day, 5 days a week, honestly, you can find that time if you actually wake up a little bit early, for example, right? Or if you don't watch TV, or you block yourself out a little bit of time, 2 half-hour blocks, whatever, anyone can find that time, right? 2 hours a day when you actually, when you launch, and then it builds from there. It depends how big you want to be and so on and so forth, because you've got to start dealing with bits and pieces and so on and so forth, right? And you increase it to balance your lifestyle. So what if you're happy with your lifestyle? So for example, if I go overseas, right? Customers that I help through importing, customers that I'm selling physical products to, I deal with them. I've got obviously infrastructure and people in place, right? But I help them and so on and so forth, make sure that they're getting service and taken care of. I might make phone calls in the morning, make phone calls at night. If I'm in America, for example, I'll make phone calls at night because the time zone crosses over, just the way it is, right? So let's recap. We've gone through the couple of little easy steps to follow, right? Honestly, a conservative number, you can earn 100 grand a year plus, right? But you have to actually start and get there, and it'll just build over time. You don't need to go quit your existing role. You should do 2 things simultaneously, right? If you've got a heap of time on your hands, you can get going faster, right? But it's a whole system designed time to take it where you wrote it. It ain't a cheap, nasty $2,000 course where here's a heap of videos and we'll forget about it. Support and help and meetups along the way, right? You do need a system and a proven process, right? And always start part-time and lead to full-time, because then you get comfortable as it goes rather than trying to rip the band-aid off. And you'll see that it takes over, and you've really minimized your risk altogether compared to, like, for example, buying a noodle box, right? Anyone can get into this business and do it safely and easily, because I always work with the mathematics, the market, and the affinity, so you've got something you actually like doing, okay? So, yeah, it's, as I said, it's low risk, because you don't leave your existing role. So whatever it is, whether it's a business that you got, whether it's a job that you hate, whatever, right? You don't leave that until this is up, running and going, right? So here's how we help. Basically, I've got the Importers Inner Circle. It's sort of, call it like a club, call it like a group, call it whatever you want, right? Essentially, it's a 36 months program, right, with a 12-month commitment. So what it means is you can come along and be part of it for 36 months and even longer if you wanted to be, right? But it starts with a 12-month commitment. So if you come on board, and I'll explain once again by application only, so if I even let you come on board and think that I can work with you, think that I help you, you're committed for 12 months, okay? As in 12 months worth of payments, 12 months worth of effort. Like, I'm not trying to pretend it's a 5-minute thing, right? Never have, never will. I'd rather be honest with you, okay? The purpose is to create a 6 or 7 figure business, to build something up to get you the income that you actually want, right? There's an opportunity to have a conversation with me after you finish watching. I don't palm you off to someone else, right? It's actually have a conversation with me, right? It's not for everyone, okay? Wholly, solely, and purely, because not everyone's gonna want to put the effort in. So if it's not for you, you know, that's cool. I don't have any issues with it. At least we've gone through and showed you some bits and pieces. If you think you're smarter and trying to, you want to try and sidestep it and stuff like that, good luck to you, because I've seen people try that and they come back a year later and just burn a whole heap of money, which they've done at the start with, right? So basically how it works is sort of 3 components: a plan, right? So map out everything with you one by one, right? It's like an onboarding call, right? We have a go working out the product selection and so on and so forth, and we work out a customer attraction plan so you know how to actually get customers, okay? Second, there's tools. We've got a buttload of tools within the actual Importers Inner Circle. It's a website loaded with information, like a resource library. Everything's nice and clearly labeled. If you're unsure what to get, then you can be steered. It's everything from stuff on how to operate a computer, templates how to do stuff, right? Exact step-by-step to do stuff. All the programs over years have sort of all been combined into this setup. There's contacts, so you know, got the right people on the ground in China and so on and so forth, right? Exact maps of processes, spreadsheets, you name it, right? Everything in there that you need to run your business, okay? Then there's help, okay? So there's support, so one-on-one support. If you need a phone call, we have a phone call, okay? We've got live training, so we meet up a few times a year, so you get the opportunity to come to 2-day events across the years. So we'll run through different aspects in regards to importing, and sort of go through and like literally grab your business and pull it apart and put it back together, make sure it is going where you want to go. As I said, introduction to contacts as well, product selection, opportunity to come across to China. So basically what happens is twice a year come across to China. It ends up being a 5-day trip. There's an additional cost on top of that. So outside of the investment in this, you probably need another $5,000 to put towards coming across to China. And if you're going to buy some products up front and so on and so forth, right? A little bit of advertising money, about $5,000. So don't ask me that question, there's the answer, right? We also assemble a sales system for you. So we give you all the templates, show you how it all works, right? You just essentially fill in the blanks. And then one of the things that people get stuck on is the whole website stuff. So we'll actually assemble the website for you. So we show you what you need to have on there, show you how to get it all done, and then we'll assemble it. My guys in the background will assemble it all together, so a website will be up, running, and working for you. That way it saves you trying to second guess it and see if you can get it work, because a lot of people fall over at that point, building out the website, but we build it for you once you put all the pieces of the puzzle together, right? So that's the sort of, that's the Importers Inner Circle, right? I've got a 30-day love it or leave it guarantee, right? So here's how it works, okay? So you come through, come on board, okay? Come through, have a fun conversation. I think that I can actually help you. And then if I decide to offer you a place, and I'll go through the exact process in a minute, you make your payment, okay? Once you come through, after 30 days, if you don't love it, okay, then you can essentially move on and leave it, okay? It's a pretty solid guarantee, and it takes really the risk away from you, okay? So here's how it works, right? So picture this, right? This is you sitting in the center, okay? So you are the most important part of this whole process. I know that's pretty damn small on the screen, but there's a lot of stuff that's going to go around, okay? So then we go, okay, cool. One of the things that you need, okay, that's important is money, okay? So you need literal cash, okay? Another thing you need is freedom, okay? The money gives you the freedom. Remember, you're still sitting in the middle, okay? Now you go, okay, cool. You want to have a purpose to your life. Now, people think they want to sit on their backside and do nothing, right? But everyone needs a purpose, okay? So money, freedom, and purpose all sort of blend together to get to where you want to go, right? So to help that happen, make it happen, first we need to know how to actually source the actual products, okay? But if you can't source the products, then it's going to be hard to give these other parts, which will be difficult to put it back to you, right? Then over and above that as well, you need just to be able to sell the products, okay? Because if you don't know how to sell the products, well, you're basically in a position where it's going to be pretty darn awkward for you, right? And you need to be able to sell, right? Okay, cool, no worries. Then once you sell, okay, you source the products, you can sell them, and now you'll be able to need to scale, because you need to scale it up to whatever your income goal or however big you want to be, right? So, okay, cool. Now we've got those three components, we can start to get the money, freedom, and purpose, and everything starting to blend together. Make sense, right? Then you go, okay, cool. To source, you need the proper processes, which is what we give you. So the proper process to actually source products, get them at the right price, get them reliably and consistently. Okay. Then you go, okay, cool. You need to make sure the product is profitable. That's part of the process to get there. So you need to have the reliable, predictable, profitable product, right? Then you go, okay, cool. What about contacts? You need people that will be there, so you're not going to get stuck and so on and so forth. So you don't get burnt in China and so on and so forth, which heaps of people do because they just don't know what they're doing, right? You go, okay, cool. What about selling, right? You need ads, so we give you all the templates, ads, and show you exactly where to advertise. And every month we sort of meet up online, and basically what I go through is bring different experts in on different advertising things and give you the direct contact details and deal directly with people I use myself and or people I've vetted, right? You go, okay, cool. What about selling? There's also the option of e-commerce. So we set up e-commerce store. There's two ways to go. So an e-commerce store, so people click the buttons, or alternatively they go the other way and they buy the actual product by talking to you on the phone, right? Either way, once you give us the part, we'll build it out for you, right? And then there's scripts. You need to know what to say. There's exact training within the system, so you know exactly how to deal with someone when they actually inquire, so you can sell. So you can source the products, sell it, and it's ticking the boxes between money, purpose, and freedom, so bringing it in together, okay? Now, you go, okay, cool, what about scale, okay? You need leverage, okay? So people to do things and systems to do things so you don't have to do everything, because that allows you to scale without you having to work harder, okay? Because the whole working hourly is completely gone now, right? Now, you go, okay, cool. I show you how to automate stuff, right? So certain things can be automated. So if you automate something, that means you don't have to employ someone, and you also don't have to do it. So I literally walk you through and show. It's one of the things that we cover off, and we're always adding things within the importers inner circle members area, literally adding stuff each month, right? And then you go, okay, cool. You need structure, because you need to understand how to structure the thing to build it. Now, once you put all these pieces of the puzzle in place, right, you, being in the center of the influence or center of the universe, literally are the winner, right? Because you've got exactly what you want: money, freedom, and purpose, right? And how have you done it? Source the right products, know how to sell it, and able to scale it. And these other things around the outside is essentially what we do. So this is what we do over the 36 months. Now, bear in mind that it's only a 12-month commitment when you come in, and I'll talk about the pricing in a tick, right? So you don't have to stay for 36 months. If you want to leave early, you can. But what I've found over time with my other programs that I've released in the past, people want to stay, right? So I've created it so it's easy and affordable, so you can stay if you want to. You just got to be consistent. And help is always literally a phone call away, or a meeting away, or a webinar away, right? Anyhow, okay. Honestly, it's for people who want to take it to the next level, want to have a serious go at stuff, right? Want to be held accountable for what they're actually doing. So if you're going the wrong way, I'll tell you you're going the wrong way, right? Like the idea of working with myself and my team. Obviously, going through this video, you can see that I'm pretty straight up. There's zero BS, right? I've been there, done this, do this, right? So I can help you if you want help, right? But has to have a conversation first. I want you to have a track record of success. If you just don't want to do anything and just want to sit back and do nothing, you're better off not being part of this, right? If you actually want to have a crack, I'll take you there, right? I'm highly motivated and self-started. I don't want to be dragging people uphill, okay? Happy to help people, but if I have to drag you and convince you that you can do it when it's blatantly obvious that you can do it, it's not a good situation, okay? So probably better that you don't actually apply, right? and you want to be fun to be around. You know, we're crossing China at different meetings, we're doing different stuff. You want to definitely be fun to be around as well, right? And essentially want an actual shortcut to where you want to go. That's really important too, because why waste years of your life trying to figure it out and spending bucket loads of money when you just bang, get a shortcut and go where you want to go, right? Anyway, like I said, not for you if you're lazy. Not for you if you think that money will magically land in your bank account with no effort at all, okay? Not for you if you want to actually fight and push through a proven system, okay? And it's not for you if you think you know everything. I've had people that literally knew everything. They were such geniuses, yet they had nothing, right? So not the right program for you, unfortunately, right? So Import is Inner Circle. Memberships by application only. If you apply, you and I will chat together, we'll have a conversation on the phone, right? Need to be happy that we can both work together for membership to proceed, right? I generally take less than half the people that apply. There's capacity issues, and plus I want to have the right actual people as well, right? It all starts with a 5 to 10 minute phone call. It's what I call a freedom call. Just going to have a quick conversation, see if we've got any rapport there at all. If we do, then basically what happens, we book into another call, right? It looks like we may be able to help you book into a longer call. Sort of go through where you're at, where you want to be, and work out a plan on how to actually get there and sort of build from that, okay? So pricing wise, so you've got option 1, 14 monthly installments of $19.90 from the commencement of the program. So your first payment is essentially $2,000 plus GST, right? So it ends up being about $27,860 plus your GST, okay? Or your option 2, $24,990 if you choose to pay up front ex GST. So you obviously save a bucket load of money to pay up front. There's also finance options, which will drop it down to about $100 a week. So that's a conversation on the phone. So some people, if they pay their first payment and then get finance in the meantime, so they sort of save a bit as they go, right? Anyway, it's a 36-month program, like I said, with a 12-month commitment. So if you're coming on board, say for example, option 1, it's not pay as you go, it's you're paying over time. So I'm working out a payment plan with you. If after 12 months you continue, you want support, want help, want to be part of the community, then just pay month by month. Nothing could be really fairer than that, right? What do you do next? Book a freedom call. So you fill out the form at importersinnercircle.com/freedom, okay? Go to that page. Same forms are also on importersinnercircle.com/step3 if you're watching this on step 3 page, right? You can give us a call on 1300-649-005. If you book a call, make sure you answer, right? Because, you know, it's a bit of a waste of time booking a call saying I want to apply for something and not answering doesn't really work too well. I'll personally talk to you myself and then sort of go from there. So here's the exact steps. So first now, what you need to do if you want some help, you actually want a lifestyle of freedom, you want to book a freedom call, right? So literally go to importersinnercircle.com/freedom. Or importersinnercircle.com/step3, right? Book call. We'll have a conversation on the phone. Take 5 to 10 minutes, just sort of get a little bit of a gist of where you're at and what you want to do, okay? If it seems like I might be able to help you, okay, we'll book a longer call. So a second call, which generally be a 15 to 30 minute call to go through a few more things, okay? Sort of work out where you are, where you want to be, and so on and so forth. So that can actually definitely help you, okay? Figure out what's been holding you back so far, just sort of push you to where you want to go. Identify the 3 sort of steps to get to where you want to actually be, which is sort of obviously source, sell, and scale, right? If accepted in your program, you'll do your first payment, so it'll take you on straight away because there'll be other people probably waiting, so only take a limited number of people on. So you take your payment, right? You get access to everything and basically begin the process, right? So fairly straightforward, fairly simple. There's no high pressure sales tactics here. You either want to do this or you don't, right? I ain't here to drag people uphill. Application only. I can help you, definitely take you where you want to be. You've got to make the effort to actually do it, right? So go ahead, book the, you can fill out the form here, importersinnercircle.com/step3 or importersinnercircle.com/freedom, right? Or call us on 1300-649-005. Looking forward to helping you. That's the end of this little video. Hope you found it informative. Would really like to help you. Go ahead, book a call. I'll have a conversation, see if I can help you, and we can roll forward from there. Hope you're having a great day, and I'll talk to you soon.